Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at GrowFolds, and today we will be grocery store plant shopping at the H-E-B in McKinney, Texas. As always, please make sure you're hitting that like button. Follow me on Instagram at GrowFolds, and most importantly, if you like 1 hour plant shopping videos daily, hit that subscribe button to stay notified with all of my new plant foldy adventures. For all of my new subscribers and viewers, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. And tonight I am going to the H-E-B that I often frequent just to see if they have any rare and uncommon plants. H-E-B is a grocery store that is only available in Texas. It is a Texas-based grocery store, but it is one that has some amazing plants. I love this H-E-B, and for those that don't know where I am based at in North Dallas. So this one is in a suburb called McKinney, Texas, right off of Custer Road. So if you want to check out this H-E-B, I would definitely check this H-E-B out. They have a huge selection of plants. So we're going to go ahead and just go inside, and as I figured, they would have another restock of Monstera Thai constellations. They had a couple of these a couple of days ago. They sold through it, and you know what? I happen to be lucky just on a Friday evening to go in here and check out that restock. But before we start looking at the Monstera Thai constellations, I did want to show all of the plant foldies, some of the other plants they have available. Most of the plants are sourced out by Max and Miles, which is what sources out all the plants for H-E-B. Now, H-E-B also sources out plants from Costa Farms and some other areas like Mason Farms, but most of them also come from Max and Miles. I really love the selection of plants they have at H-E-B. This one right here is a beautiful purple peperomia. Now, for those that grow peperomia, I think that these are easy plants to take care of. And you can see there are many different varieties. This one right here is a Peperomia Golden Gate. I really like that foliage right over here too. It is by Max and Miles again. Now, I believe these plants, let's just see, are, I believe $9.99 in a beautiful ceramic planter. And that's the thing about grocery stores. This episode, plant shopping episode, is really gonna feature 3 different grocery stores that are all on Custer Road in McKinney, Texas. So if you plan to do a plant shopping adventure and you happen to be in North Dallas, specifically in McKinney, Texas, all you have to do is go up north and go on Custer Road, and you'll be able to see McKinney, Texas has H-E-B and the other 2 grocery stores that I will feature, all of which have very cool plants, rare and uncommon plants. And you will see very soon how grocery stores are very cost effective when it comes to plant pricing and the selection of plants. You can see right here they've got a variety of different house plants. Now, normally I would go to H-E-B and also check out their outdoor section. They have what they call the Texas Garden, and for those that are new to this channel, I always go to this H-E-B, so you'll always see a video feature of all of the H-E-B plants, specifically this one right here. And then for all of my local plant foldies, the ones that live out in the North Dallas area or the Dallas-Fort Worth area, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I definitely do plant shopping videos daily. So for the most part, you'll get up-to-date updates of like what plants are hitting the Dallas market. I know that I've had a couple of plant foldies mention that they've been to the locations I've shown and were able to get some of the plants that they were looking for. Like this one right here is an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos for $6.98. It's already on a little pole. And what's cool about growing pothos plants is as they grow up a pole, they'll attach their aerial roots and they'll get larger leaves. Now let's go ahead to check out the main event, and these are going to be the Monstera Thai constellations. Notice that these are beautiful size Monstera Thai constellations. I would say Max and Miles has a really good job of just being able to get these rare and uncommon plants. This is only for $39.98, and actually I am on the hunt to be able to get another Monstera Thai constellation to do another plant giveaway on my Instagram. I currently have a variegated domesticanum plant giveaway, a free plant giveaway on my Instagram. So if you haven't already and you want a chance to win a variegated philodendron domesticanum variegated form, go to my Instagram page at GrowFolds. You'll just have to look for that specific reel, but the person that won my first plant giveaway, that Monstera Thai constellation I got at Kroger's. Just got their Monstera Thai constellation in the mail. I'm really excited that it arrived to you safely. But you can see here, Monstera Thai constellation. You know, this was a plant that was quite expensive about 3 to 4 years ago. I remember buying a one leaf, was it like a one leaf or a one leaf, one node cutting for about $200. Now, granted, I was able to grow that plant and get it actually to size up, and now it is about 5 feet tall, and I'm really proud of it. Now, this one is a beautiful Monstera Thai constellation. It does have some high variegation, and the only thing about high variegated plants is sometimes you'll run the risk of them crisping up and browning up. But you can see right here, this one has some beautiful variegation, and truthfully, all of the Monstera Thai constellations I've seen so far have some beautiful variegation. They're very balance. That's the beautiful thing about Monstera Thai constellation as compared to the Monstera albo. This variegation is what you would call a stable variegation. So no matter what, this plant is not really going to revert into a green one, or I haven't really heard of Monstera Thai constellations reverting. Will they lose some of that beautiful speckling? Perhaps. Now, I will say Monstera Thai constellation, their variegation is influenced by mostly the genetics, but also the amount of light you give it. I have noticed that if you give it more bright indirect light, it'll get some better variegation. But you can see right here, very healthy looking plants, and these plants have just been unloaded off of a pallet. And that's the thing about plant shopping. Sometimes you just get lucky when you walk into a store, whether it's a grocery store, a big box store, or even a local plant nursery, and you can see that they're unloading the plants. I have been able to get in touch with some of the workers at all of these big box stores and grocery stores. So sometimes they'll give me information about when they're getting restocked. So I typically go into the stores when they have those days where they may potentially have a restock. And most of the time I would be lucky to see them unloading these plants. So again, Plant Foldies, if you are interested in getting some updates about what plants are coming into the Dallas-Fort Worth area, please make sure you are hitting that subscribe button with the notification bell on. Also adding me on Instagram. You can send me a direct message and I can kind of show you the way in terms of where the plants are. But you can see right here, all of these beautiful Monstera Thai constellations, like this one right here. If you were to ask me which ones I would buy, I would definitely buy this one because you can see that it has some nice variegation. This new leaf has just unfurled. It hasn't hardened, but look at how gorgeous that is. Now, Plant Foldies, let me know if you own a Monstera Thai constellation, if it is one of your wish list plants. I definitely want to be able to source these out for some of my viewers and subscribers. So if you are following me on Instagram, know that I will be doing frequent plant free giveaways. I really want to, increase the engagement and followers on my Instagram as well as my YouTube channel. You know, I have been able to do a lot of plant shopping videos the last 4 or 5 months. I can't believe that I pretty much have been able to give updates, 1-hour plant shopping videos daily. Now, this is an example of a Monstera Thai constellation that it's mostly green. You see that it doesn't have the best variegation, so I would pass on that. But every single other Monstera Thai constellation that I've seen so far have some really good variegation. You can see over here, this one has some nice variegation as well. So this is another one that I would recommend buying. They are healthy looking, and I will say with Max and Miles plants, they have some really good quality plants. Now, HEB has also featured rare and uncommon plants like that variegated domesticanum. HEB has had also Philodendron Strawberry Shake, Philodendron Florida Beauty. So this is an HEB that for me, I am literally based about 5 to 6 minutes away from this particular HEB. So you already know I can pretty much visit this HEB daily to see when they get new plant updates. I will say that I'm pretty much at this HEB every other day checking it out. And today I happen to get lucky on finding these Monstera Thai constellations. Now, with Monstera Thai constellations at this form, this juvenile form, it's still pretty much juvenile. Monstera Thai constellations are known to get root rot, so you just have to really be cautious about how much you water the plant. I would plant these in really fast draining soil, chunky aeroid mix, and really be cautious about how much water you're giving. I wouldn't repot these in really large pots that would hold more moisture. I would just go a little bit larger, maybe an inch larger if you're going to repot it. You can definitely put these on a moss pole at this stage. That way you can really encourage it to grow upward. Monstera Thai constellations are beautiful. It is one of my favorite plants. It's because I love the fact that these Monstera Thai constellations have variegation that's stable. Now we are going to go to the Kroger grocery store, the marketplace, which is literally across that H-E-B grocery store in McKinney, Texas. Right across from it is a Kroger marketplace that I often visit just because I have also been able to discover Monstera Thai constellations here. I was also able to find like a Philodendron Florida Ghost. And so we're just going to see what they have. So Father's Day is this Sunday. And so for those that have fathers that love plants, I would hit up these plant sections right here. You can see that Kroger grocery store has a bunch of Philodendron squamiferums. Now these are for $19.99. I already own a Philodendron squamiferum. I ended up buying it at a local plant nursery out in Melissa, Texas called Green Acres. So if you ever get a chance, please check out my Green Acres nursery tour. You will see all of the nice indoor tropical plants. I've also done an outdoor gardening plant section as well, so check out those videos. But you can see here Philodendron squamiferum. Now this is another philodendron that was quite uncommon a couple years back. It was a lot more expensive, and now we have the Philodendron squamiferum at a grocery store. And I always find it interesting that I would be one of those people that would walk into a grocery store, and whenever I would find something like this, I would just get super excited and start filming it. I remember going into H-E-B and just checking out all those Monstera Thai constellations, and it's so interesting that the majority of people just pass by it and don't really know that these are, fairly, I wouldn't say they're uncommon or rare at this point because you can find them at a grocery store, but I would just say that they're highly sought after, and with good reason. Monstera Thai constellation, it's a beautiful plant. Philodendron squamiferum, it's a beautiful plant. I would say some of the pricing a couple years back was insane, but now they're fairly priced. I would say that I wouldn't buy this Philodendron squamiferum for $19.99, to be honest, just because I feel like I could get a better price, or better yet, it may go down in price. Like, I know that Kroger grocery stores will reduce their plants. So we're going to look at some of the clearance plants that they have. It looks like these Phalaenopsis orchids might be on the way of getting marked down, but you can see here they have just a sad little section of reduced plants. So this is a Photonia right here for $3.15. I wouldn't buy this, this Photonia. It's actually a polka dot plant. I wouldn't buy that because those would be difficult to rehab. But you can see right here, they've got a Philodendron squamiferum. This one has some cosmetic damage. This is reduced to $7.20. So if you are looking for a Philodendron squamiferum, you can get it on clearance. And the thing about it is, while those leaves are slightly damaged, you can grow those out and just get rid of those bottom leaves once new growth comes around. $7.20 is not bad for the size of the Philodendron squamiferum. I already have one that's growing up a pole, and it's got some really nice large leaves. I really like the petioles too. They're super fuzzy. Now with Philodendron squamiferum, just like most philodendrons, you have to make sure that you give it a nice bright indirect light. If you can give it better humidity, like higher humidity, and grow them up on a pole, a totem pole, a moss pole, or a plank, you'll get the best potential in terms of the plant looking mature and beautiful. Now you can see they have a couple more reduced plants right over here. That is a button fern, and then you can see this is some type of fern as well. I don't have any ferns in my collection, but these are for $3.15. So that's the thing about Kroger grocery stores. They are constantly reducing their plant pricing. I ended up buying a neon pothos actually on a reduced price. You can see this is an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos for $3.50, and honestly, that is not a bad price at all, considering that is a 6-inch planter. For $3.15, you can just rehab that a little bit. Like this one is not a bad one as well. And the good thing about Epipremnum aureum golden pothos is it is one of the easiest house plants to take care of. I would go out on a limb and say that most people probably started their plant journey growing plants indoors with a pothos plant, specifically this golden pothos. It is a classic plant. It's a plant that is just readily available at most big box stores and easy to grow. You can see right here all of these beautiful Phalaenopsis orchids. This is in the espresso cup, so you've got a smaller Phalaenopsis orchid right here. Now, I was told that out of all the different types of orchids, Phalaenopsis orchids are the easiest to take care of. I will say that for the most part, Phalaenopsis orchids don't necessarily need to be watered as often. Now, I would repot these Phalaenopsis orchids once they're done with the bloom. I ended up finding a variegated Phalaenopsis orchid at Kroger. So that's the thing about, grocery store plant shopping. You will find some amazing plant finds when you least expect it. Like this one, I was almost tempted to buy this one for $7.20 for clearance. But as you can see with a lot of these plants, I just enjoy showing you all these plants. I know that I've been doing a lot of plant shopping videos on a personal note. Things have been a little bit hectic with my life. Work has been really demanding. It's just a very demanding job that I have. So whenever I get a chance to just do plant shopping videos right after work, it is very therapeutic for me. I'm able to show you guys all of these beautiful plants. And while a lot of these plants I may have featured on multiple videos, it's still exciting to just gather a bunch of our plant foldies during a live premiere chat. I really appreciate all of those that tune in every single evening to chat and just have some really good fellowship with other plant lovers like myself. It just shows that you guys really do appreciate my content, and just know that I will continue to do this, and I will continue to have these daily plant shopping videos. But you can see over here, we've got some Gerbera daisies right over here. Really love the look of these Gerbera daisies. These are for $5.99. And you can see that grocery stores like Kroger, all of their plants, their indoor plants, tropical plants, are going to be in the floral section. I can see that they just recently had another plant restock. That's the thing about grocery stores. They treat their plants just like they treat, their produce. They want to make sure that they are fresh and also full and also impactful. I just love the displays that they have at grocery stores. Like you can see that this whole section right here has a bunch of flowering plants. And with Father's Day coming up on Sunday, you can just see that they stay within the season. And you can see right here tons of anthuriums, blooming anthuriums, kalanchoe. So I'm just going to take a little bit of time to show you the kalanchoe, for instance. This one is for $5.99. That's really not a bad price for a kalanchoe. And for those that don't know, kalanchoe are actually succulent plants. These ones happen to just bloom a little bit more frequently. So with all succulent plants, you just need to make sure that you give them bright indirect light. Or actually not bright indirect light. You might as well give them just bright light in general so that they will thrive. These kalanchoe, flowering kalanchoe will rebloom. So they'll go through a whole blooming cycle, die off, and you'll just have like the succulent type leaves, those waxy leaves, but then they will also rebloom. Speaking of reblooming, so I bought a variegated African violet. It's got green on green variegation, and it was in bloom when I bought it, and then the blooms died, and then it grew a bunch more like foliage, and now it's rebloomed again. It actually has become one of my easier plants to take care of. There are a couple of plants that have been neglected by me. I mentioned this in the last couple of my videos where I just haven't had time to really stay on top of the watering, so some of my plants haven't done very well. But with the African violet, it's done very well. Now with the Gerbera daisies, these are flowering plants that need more bright light. So now that they are indoors, just know that you have to go put them next to like a window sill or someplace like a south facing window. And when I say south facing window, the reason why I would suggest it is south facing window. That's where the sun is the most intense, and that would be the brightest light you would get. All of the plants that I picked up so far in this flower section all require a lot of bright light. That would just be best. You can also also grow Kalanchoe outside in an you know, in a patio area or somewhere that gets a lot of light. I would not necessarily put them in full sun. I made the mistake of growing succulents in full sun, thinking that succulents were like a desert plant, which they can be, but at the same time, not all of them want to be in that heat, and not all of them want to be fully exposed to full sun. So that's just something to keep in mind. And you can see right here, this is another miniature rose. I really like this miniature rose. These are the Rose Aroma. Beautiful plant as well. I don't really have a lot of miniature roses, but these ones are for $14.99. If I am going to get a miniature rose, I'm going to get the variegated miniature rose at Trader Joe's, which is another grocery store that I love to go to. Trader Joe's probably has the best plant pricing out of all the grocery stores, but when you look at H-E-B and we're now looking at Kroger, you can see that they have some really good plant pricing. So plant foldies, let me know what you think. Do you think that like grocery stores have better plant pricing versus like versus big box stores? Let me know in the comments. I know that I ask a lot of questions, but I would really appreciate it if you guys can take the time to actually leave comments in the comment section. That just really drives engagement within the video, within the channel. And when you drop comments or even hit the like button, it tells YouTube that there's people that are interested in these videos, which means more people will be aware of our plant foldy community and we'll have like a bigger plant party. But you can see here, it looks like all the Kroger grocery stores got a huge push of flowering anthuriums. I like the flowering anthuriums. These are for $14.99. This one has dark foliage leaves coming out. I do love the pink blooms as well. Now these are very easy to care for plants. So again, if you're looking for a plant that blooms or has blooms and you want to grow them indoors, I would highly recommend getting a blooming anthurium like this. They come in so many different varieties. Now there is one anthurium that I would love to get, you know, blooming anthurium. It is called the Shibori, which is a variegated form bloom. I really want to get that. It looks like cherry blossoms, but we know whenever I check it out on eBay, it is more than like $100. So I don't really want to spend that much money on an anthurium. Now, if I am able to raise funds, maybe I might, you know, treat myself to do that. But with all of the amount of plants that I've bought in the last 4 months, I am overwhelmed with the amount of plants that I have to care for. And to be honest, some of that has really taken some of the joy out of my plant collection, because I am bogged down, or I feel like I have to be tied down to actually doing plant chores. And, you know, that is part of growing plants. You know, we love admiring plants, and, you know, for me, it has been a bit of a challenge balancing my personal life, YouTube, work, especially work, and just plant shopping videos and in my plant care. I do believe that if you're going to grow plants, like indoor plants, outdoor plants, there has to be a level of not only just the plant chores, but also the level of being able to just physically enjoy them by being able to just sit back, look at the plants, admire the new growth that they may have, the new flowers, or just even the arrangement of the plants. Like I will say, this particular Kroger grocery store, the team that works in the floral section, and I've seen them be very meticulous about how they present their plants. I have to commend them. Now, these are the Philodendron squamiferum that, again, are only for $19.99. So if you don't have a Philodendron squamiferum, these are available at Kroger grocery stores. I'm curious to see if all Kroger grocery stores have the same selection of these rare or uncommon plants. And then obviously, I love looking at this Epipremnum aureum Enjoy. So this one is actually sourced out by Mason Farms. What I like about Mason Farms is that they have some interesting looking plants right over here. These are for $19.99, and I really enjoy looking at the Enjoy pothos, because if you look at it, they have high variegation, it's high contrast. This is sometimes mistaken as a pearls and jade pothos. I don't think this is a pearls and jade pothos because it doesn't really have all of that speckling. Pearls and jade pothos also has a more grayish green tone versus a high green color to it. Now, the thing about this pothos plant is, it is a beginner plant, but it is a plant out of all the pothos probably needs a little bit more attention when it comes to watering. It's not as drought tolerant as most pothos. And then you can see here, this is a favorite plant that everybody wants to see on Up Grow Folds video, and that is a Hedera helix. So as you can see here, this is actually a Hedera helix or English ivy. And for those that are just watching my video for the first time, it is an inside joke with all of the plant foldies because I mispronounced Hedera helix when I first started doing plant shopping videos. And for some reason, it just kind of stuck with it. I don't know why you guys want to keep track of how many times I say Hedera helix. But at this point, especially when I go to Kroger, you will see a lot of people say, you know, a lot of people will hear me say Hedera helix or Hedera helix. This one is a Philodendron micans. And I don't really see a lot of Philodendron micans in 6-inch planters. This one is for $19.99. And what I like about the Philodendron micans is it has a beautiful heart-shaped leaf, but the velvety texture is beautiful. And when you grow this up a totem pole or a moss pole, the leaves get larger and it is just beautiful. It almost looks like a Philodendron El Chaco red. So we're going to definitely check that out. Plant foldies, you can see that there are several of Philodendron squamiferum. The thing about it is, I don't think a lot of people are buying the Philodendron squamiferum. Like when I first saw this released not too long ago, I was super excited. But then when I looked at the price, $19.99 is a little bit pricey for that at this point. And then you can see right here, we've got another Hedera helix. This Hedera helix is just that typical green one, but this one is a nice looking one. It's got some trailing on it. Now with Hedera helix, I would just say the best place to grow English ivy is just to grow them outdoors. I currently have one that I'm growing outdoors and it is doing just fine. I can actually like neglect it and it's still doing fine. So I just don't think that Hedera helix just do well indoors. Now this is an Epipremnum aureum Enjoy Pothos. Again, it looks like some of that root was actually in the soil, and you can see how it is just growing amazing. You can see that this variegation is gorgeous, but I would say, and I might actually end up doing this, is actually trying to grow a Enjoy Pothos up a totem pole. I've seen a couple of mature specimens, specifically one at PlantCon in Houston. It was being sold for like over $100 because the leaves got extremely large and they just look beautiful. They almost rival the beauty of like say a Monstera albo. And then you can see over here again, these ones are for $19.99. This is another Philodendron micans. I do love the Philodendron mican. It's in the sense that it has that beautiful velvet leaf, but also it is a pretty fast grower. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pan over here. I often show Phalaenopsis orchids in a lot of my videos, and it looks like a lot of you guys also like looking at Phalaenopsis orchids. Now, if you see here, these are Phalaenopsis orchids that have coloration that's not really natural in nature. Those are all used like dyed Phalaenopsis orchids, but these ones right here are the natural ones. You can see that they've got a smaller variety over here. Now these ones I believe are for $13.99. Really cute looking Phalaenopsis orchid. I did end up finding a Phalaenopsis orchid that was variegated here. I ended up sending it to Planting with Pete. He also has a YouTube channel, so please make sure you check it out. He was able to give me a variegated Marantha, so I was super excited about that, and as well as a Philodendron Gabby. And you know, Philodendron Gabby, it is an uncommon philodendron. I ended up chopping up like the plant that he gave me so I can get several nodes to propagate. So we'll see what that looks like. But you can see this beautiful arrangement of cascading Matsui orchids. These are all $29.99. I love how it is cascading, how they have it clipped on this little trellis, and it just looks very elegant. Now with all of these Phalaenopsis orchids, they're also known as the moth orchid. Typically their blooms will last about a month month and a half. I would say you don't really want to overwater these plants. So for me, orchids actually work best because I don't really water my plants. I typically underwater them to the point where they're almost just about to die. So I need to do better at that. But it is a plant, you know, Phalaenopsis orchids, their roots will rot quickly, and you want to make sure that you're putting it in a very chunky substrate. Typically, orchids need to be put in orchid bark. If I am going to get some orchid bark, I also buy some horticulture charcoal, as well as add like perlite and pumice to really make it a chunky mix where it doesn't really retain that much moisture. A lot of times Phalaenopsis orchids can also just be grown with the roots really exposed in the air, because orchids in general are considered epiphytes, which means they just kind of attach to trees or something of that nature, and they get most of their water from the moisture in the air. So, you know, it's just a really interesting way of how plants find a way to survive in the wild. Where I am from, or my family's from, we're from the Philippines, and I will say orchids just grow rampant in such a tropical area, Phalaenopsis orchids, and a lot of Vanda orchids do very well in the Philippines. I mentioned this in a lot of my videos, but there's one Vanda orchid I would hope everybody would just do a Google search. It is called a Waling. I'll spell it for you. It is W-A-L-I-N-G, W-A-L-I-N-G. It is a beautiful Vanda orchid. And what I love about the Vanda orchid, the Waling, it has some intense purple coloration. It's got a large bloom. But you know, these Phalaenopsis orchids, though, I mean, they're still gorgeous, but when you compare it to like that Vanda orchid, the Waling, it is on another level. But you know, it is on another level, but I will say the way that Kroger grocery store, specifically this one off of Custer Road in Frisco, Texas, it's literally on the other side, so it's on the border. They just have a really good way of styling their plants. Their floral area is always beautiful. It's very impactful. I mean, look at this display right here. It makes you want to just pick up a bunch of these orchids and take them home and have yourself like an orchid collection. I'm surprised that I haven't gotten into orchids because, I mean, these are just beautiful flowers right here. This is a beautiful color, for instance, but I do love all of the cascading white ones. And check this out. This is a plant find. Look at this Hoya Carrii. This one is from Mason Farms for $13.99, and Mason Farms is a nursery out in New Mexico, Texas. I'm almost tempted to buy this Hoya Carrii, just a green form. I have been able to find a variegated Hoya Carrii at Kroger, and so again, Kroger has some really unique looking plants. They have a lot of common plants, but you'll run into Hoyas. And you know, I would even say that Kroger has a better selection of Hoyas as compared to a lot of big box stores like Home Depot, Walmart, or Lowe's. I mean, they've been able to feature a Hoya Carrii, even a variegated form, and it's only for $13.99. That is not a bad price at all. I feel like that is a fair price. And then I did want to go pan over here. So notice how beautiful this purple is with the blue. All of these orchids have been dyed, so that way you can see that they've got some kind of food coloring, and that used to be a white Phalaenopsis orchid that was dyed with some food coloring to get that color. I don't really find that color to be really attractive because it almost looks very just unnatural, but you know, some people might like that. Now this one is another Hydra Helix. This one is for $19.99, and I actually like the brown plastic planter that it's in. I think they've changed it up to where they've got more neutral colors. I'm not really a fan of the blue plastic container that this is in, but this is still a beautiful Dieffenbachia, and this one is for $9.99 in a 4.5-inch planter. So all of the plants I'm picking up so far and will be picking up at Kroger, I'm just going to go into more detail, are mostly sourced out by Mason Farms. Like this is a beautiful golden pothos. This one has some pretty good variegation. You know, some golden pothos, if you don't give it enough light, it will revert more so into a green pothos, or what they would call a jade pothos. I love the look of a jade pothos. You know, it's got a nice like satin shine to it. But golden pothos, again, this one is only for $9.99. That's not a bad price at all. But if I'm going to buy a pothos from Mason Farms at Kroger Grocery, I would end up just getting the Enjoy pothos. Beautiful Syngonium Neon Robusta. I've been seeing a lot of pink Syngoniums as of late. This one is for $13.99. And now this would be a plant that I would say is a little bit high, because there are other places where I've seen Syngoniums be a little bit less. I would say even finding them at H-E-B or even Trader Joe's sells some of these plants. I think Trader Joe's has sold them for less than like $6 in a ceramic planter. So again, it is important, if you're ever going to go looking for plants, to just really compare and contrast the plant pricing. For me, I have done so many plant shopping videos that I can literally tell you a Trending Tropicals plant at Walmart will cost $19.98 or $19.84. At a Lowe's or a Home Depot, if they end up having a Trending Tropicals, they'll be $20.84. So it's that type of level of detail that I've seen in terms of the plant pricing, because I am literally in a big box store, a grocery store every single day, filming content for all of our plant foldies. This is a beautiful arrangement for $149.99. So you can see they've got a couple of cascading Matsui orchids. Look at how beautiful that pink is. And just the way it is just cascading and trailing down, it definitely would be a perfect centerpiece. The only thing I would say is once the bloom is gone, though, the leaf interest isn't really going to be there. And that's the reason why I ended up justifying to myself that I could buy a variegated Phalaenopsis orchids, because once the blooms go away, it still has a beautiful leaf color that will keep some more interest. Not that I have anything against green plants. You know, I've talked about admiring green plants as well, because a lot of times we're all gravitating to variegation or variegated plants. Like for instance, this is a variegated Pumila, Ficus pumila. That is another beautiful one, you know, and I see this often in a hanging basket offered by Costa Farms Trending Tropicals or Exotic Angels. It is another plant that will require a lot of bright light. Any type of ficus plant needs a lot of bright light in order for it to really thrive. And then you can see right here for $13.99. Again, I don't really like the tin can that it's in. This is another Epipremnum aureum Enjoy Pothos. One thing to note about like the Enjoy Pothos is it has high variegation, but what I like is if you don't give it the bright light that it needs, it won't necessarily revert all the way back to green. So that's a plus. Now here is a string of pearls. I really like the look of string of pearls. And you know, again, whenever you think of pearls, or at least whenever I think of pearls, I think about the Philippines, because we have a lot of pearls available in the country. The Philippines is known as the Pearl of the Orient. A couple of other things to know about my home country is we win beauty pageants. So if you talk to any Filipino, we are all about Miss Universe. That is a thing. So I like to give you guys just little tidbits about my home country in my plant shopping videos, just for you to get to know me. But you can see right there, another Hoya Carya. I mean, that is awesome. And then we have these right here. These are for $19.99. This is a hanging basket of Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil. This is a Costa Farms plant right here. I will say that this is a little bit slightly pricey, but you know what? You are getting a high quality ceramic hanging basket. I really like the look at that. This is actually a very healthy looking Philodendron Hederaceum. You know, I have a Philodendron Hederaceum. It is an easy to care for plant. It is similar to an Epipremnum aureum or a pothos plant. I would say that the growth rate is maybe slightly slower than a golden pothos, but needless to say, it is another fast growing plant. That's the thing about certain plants. I love fast growing plants. I like vigorous plants because I'm the type of person that likes to go see new growth updates. I don't know if you're like me or plant foldies, if you really just look at your plants daily and you get excited if you see like a new growth point or a new leaf unfurling. That is the beauty and the joy that plants can give people. And that's one thing that I live for in terms of just what plants I like and like what plants I truly admire and just look at when, you know, looking for like new growth points. But you can see here that was a Dracaena Lemon Lime. That one's for $19.99. So I would say the 6-inch planters are a little bit more pricey as compared to the 4.5-inch planters by Mason Farm. But you can see here as I pan over more philodendron squamiferum. So the one thing I will say about the amount of philodendron squamiferum they have at Kroger, I'm curious to see if they're going to try to liquidate them and really give a good price. I've noticed that a lot of grocery stores will clearance out their plants, and most of them will even try to give them like a really good price. I've seen a place like Sprouts grocery store sell Ficus lyrata, for instance, for 99 cents in a 6-inch planter. So who knows? You already know that I will be checking out this Kroger grocery store. Now, if I see them reduce the philodendron squamiferum to like $5 or something of that nature, I will definitely buy a couple and put a bunch of philodendron squamiferum in a planter with a moss pole, so I can get a full plant that's going to get some really large leaves. I've been doing that with a lot of the clearance plants that I've found at Walmart, for instance. I've seen like philodendron pink princess for $5. I've bought several of them. I've combined them in a planter with a moss pole. They're growing up the moss pole, and so it's just really looking nice. You can see right here another Hedera helix, or another Hedera helix. We've got a bunch of Hedera helix at this location. And then this is a plant that I admire, but I will not put back in my plant collection, and this is a China doll plant. I found one as an exotic angel plant for $3.97 at H-E-B, so it was actually a pretty inexpensive plant. But the problem with a China doll plant, at least for my care, is that it is a very thirsty plant. It does not like to dry out. I didn't realize that it is not really drought tolerant. I do love the texture of the leaves. I do love how it's got smaller leaves. It's got like a natural shine to it. But when you touch the leaves are not waxy at all. It's actually really thin. And that's the reason why I don't think it will do well in my care. Again, just because I just don't have the time to just take the time to water. I know that sounds like a very basic plant essential when growing plants, but you know, there's some plants you can literally get away with. Like if you have like a Sansevieria or some type of snake plant in Aglaonema, you know, plants that are very drought tolerant, those are more of my I guess my groove when it grows to plants. And even Epipremnum aureum or pothos plants, they are not necessarily drought tolerant, but they're definitely forgiving. So if you see them kind of drooping like that Marble Queen pothos, if you put some water on it within a day, it will just recover and be just fine. This one is a Pilea peperomoides. That one is for $13.99. I do want to get a Pilea peperomoides. I think it is a beautiful plant. And what I like about that plant is it does produce little babies that you can separate from the mother plant, so you can go ahead and get more free plants. I am all about saving money. You know, when it comes to like your finances, there has to be a certain level or a budget you put for your plants. I have talked to a lot of people, a lot of plant foldies that are literally addicted to plants just as much as I'm addicted to plants. And I feel your struggle. I feel your struggle when it comes to just the restraint you want to put when it comes to just buying plants. Sometimes you just can't help it. And then when you look at your credit card bill or just the amount of money you've spent on plants, it is a little concerning. That's why I've had to slow down quite a bit when it comes to buying plants. So I have decided that I'm just literally gonna go window plant shopping unless I find a plant. I know, unless I find a plant that really speaks to me. Now, all of these plants right here that I'm picking up are a bunch of bromeliads. Now, these are sourced out by Costa Farms. Bromeliads are super cool. I've been able to see some really uncommon looking bromeliads, and the uncommon ones have a really cool color about the bromeliads, really cool texture. I prefer the bromeliads with the beautiful pinks, hot pinks. It looks like they've been spray painted with paint. These ones are okay. I wouldn't necessarily buy these ones. I feel like if I'm gonna get a bromeliad, I need a little bit more leaf interest and texture to it for me to really justify bringing in another plant. And then you can see right here, they just have so many philodendron squamiferum. This particular nursery that actually sources this out just has so many rare and uncommon plants. They are a huge supplier when it comes to these rare and uncommon plants. And you know, I even looked at just what their wholesale pricing is. You've got to buy a lot of plants from the get-go in order to really get them to source out. So I would just say Kroger probably had a really good deal with them, because there's just so many philodendron squamifera. I'm like, they're just popping out of nowhere. And I don't really think that people are gonna just buy them. So who knows, like I said again, sometimes having a little restraint from buying a particular plant, you'll end up saving money. Like that one right there is a zebra plant. I'm not really interested. And then this is the peperomia camouflage. It's basically a variegated peperomia teardrop. Really excited to see that. At one point I thought it was a sport variegated one, but it looks like it's own cultivar. This one is for $13.99, but at the time when I did that plant shopping video, I asked the Plantfoldy, should I buy it? And a lot of you guys said, yes, I should have bought it. Here's the thing. Like 4 days later, I went back to that Kroger and I actually didn't film it, but it ended up being on clearance for $4.15. So I saved a crap ton of money, and I was able to just keep my budget within the range that I wanted to spend for the plant. So again, especially with Kroger plants, I would recommend holding off on buying a specific plant. Now, if there's Monstera Thai constellations, yeah, they're going to be $29.99. Go ahead and buy them. I saw a lot of people buying Monstera Thai constellations. It was a little disappointing because I think a lot of people are looking for that particular plant because it is a wish list plant that has become more of a readily available plant as compared to a couple years back. But then whenever we see a plant being released, like by Costa Farms or a big box store or, you know, grocery store that has Thai constellations, I've seen some people literally buying tons and tons of them with the intent to resell. I have never really been a fan of like reselling. I feel like if you're gonna buy a plant, and this is my personal opinion, I've seen this even in retail where people will buy highly like sought after items like Stanley cups or things like that with the intent to resell it to people. But then again, you know, resellers only exist because people will pay that extra extra money for that that high demand item. It's the same thing with plants. And so I hope that as we get more plants readily available at grocery stores or big box stores, we'll be able to get like more Monstera Thai constellations to where people aren't just running there to buy it so they can resell it. I think that if the market is flooded with so many Monstera Thai constellations or even these rare philodendron or variegated plants, eventually plant pricing will just settle to the point where it'll be affordable and you wouldn't be able to just resell it. But Monstera Thai constellations, they're still in that range where they're still slightly expensive, but give it a couple more years, like another year or two, and I would think that Monstera Thai constellations would end up being a little bit less, maybe in like the $15 range, kind of like a Monstera deliciosa. And then you can see I have pulled up a lot of these Hoyas. That is another Hoya carnosa right over here. I love the fact that out of all the big box stores, Kroger, a grocery store, has a lot of Hoyas. Like the fact that they had a Hoya carrii, love that a lot. You know, for all of my Plantfoldies that enjoy Hoya carrii or just Hoyas in general, I really just hope to be able to see more Hoyas. And then you can even see right here, this is for $9.99. This is a beautiful Ficus elastica burgundy. You can see that it is a juvenile for it's a small one. And with these Ficus elasticas or rubber tree plants that are in this size, you can tell that this is a tissue cultured plant. And that goes back to the whole reason why a lot of these plants are readily available. Tissue culture has become such an accessible thing for a lot of plant nurseries. It is a quick way to scientifically produce multiple plants with the same genetics to be able to like mass produce them and have them readily available. And that's the reason why a lot of these rare and uncommon plants, especially all of the Monstera Thai constellations we're seeing out in the market, they are tissue cultured. All of those philodendron pink princess are also tissue cultured. I will say a non-tissue culture plant is still going to be a lot stronger than a tissue culture plant, but if you get a tissue culture plant, most of the time you can't really tell. I mean, you can tell because it is readily available now, but in terms of just how they grow, what they look like, they're pretty much the same as like a non-tissue cultured plant. And you know, Plantfoldies, I know that I've been talking a lot about different subjects as I pull up these plants. Hopefully you are enjoying some of my plant musings, my plant insights. I feel like with all of the plant shopping videos, there's only so many times I can tell you guys about like the plant care tips. I will say this though, this Croton petra, if you don't know, crotons need to be outside to really grow well. They don't do very well indoors because they require a lot of bright light. Also, you want to make sure that croton plants don't get overwatered, but they also don't get underwater. So there has to be just like a perfect balance, which makes croton plants a little bit more challenging. They're pretty much in the same like realm as like ficus plants. Now this Epipremnum aureum golden pothos for $9.99, which we saw on reduced earlier, that is an easy plant. It's just another common plant, but I would still say get yourself a pothos plant, any type of pothos plant. If you want to start with a very easy one, get a jade pothos or golden pothos, and then get yourself a marble queen pothos, maybe a snow queen pothos. Then you can, you know, get a manjula pothos, an enjoy pothos, a global green pothos, a lemon meringue pothos. The pothos goes on. But yes, as you can tell, I love pothos plants because I just know so many varieties. I do love peace lily as well. That is another beautiful plant. Peace lilies are easy to take care of because they are lower light tolerant. But the problem with it is I am not going to be able to grow a peace lily because I'm not going to be able to water it on a daily basis. They are a very thirsty plant, and it's another plant that if you don't water it, it will literally drop its leaves and it'll look like a truck just ran over it. It'll just be flat, unhappy, and looks like it would be on the brink of death. But then when you water it an hour later, it's like nothing ever happened. So those drama plants, some drama plants are really drama to the point where yes, they're gonna die. But then there's some plants that are dramatic where they just need a little bit love and care. Peace lily is that. Or Spathiphyllum. But as I pan around here, you can see that just the plant presentation, the amount of plants that they have at this Kroger marketplace is remarkable. I really like those large Spathiphyllum or peace lilies. Those are only for $19.99, so it's an amazing price. And then you can just see all of these Phalaenopsis orchids again. I just want to pan around here and just kind of show you all of the beautiful details of some of these flowers. And then you can see these really cute Live Trends planters of some type of dinosaur. These are all Haworthias that are growing. The only critique I would say for Live Trend plants is that fake moss that they use as a top dressing. I just wish that they would just skip to that and not actually put that. It just looks too unnatural. And then when you think about it, when you water the fake moss, it's going to retain a lot more moisture at the top of the soil, which means it can invite fungus gnats, or it can keep the soil too wet to the point where it could potentially rot the roots. So I always, whenever I buy a Live Trends plant, I get rid of the top moss, because it just doesn't really serve a lot of purpose for me. I think that it actually hurts the plant more so than actually accentuate the look. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Plant Foldies, let me know in the comments if you actually use top dressing for your plants. And as you can see here, I'm just admiring all of these flowering Antheria. Absolutely stunning. There's so many different bloom colors, but the one color I want to get is called the Shibori, which is basically a variegated version of these plants. Now we are going to go to our final grocery store, and this is Sprouts in McKinney, Texas. You can see that McKinney water tower. I love McKinney, Texas. I think it is one of the most beautiful suburbs out in North Dallas. It is definitely one of the safest, cleanest areas all in Texas and probably in the country as well. Really good education system. It's just a really nice community, and they have a lot of plants. Cool grocery stores like Sprouts grocery store. So I did want to go feature this. I haven't been at a Sprouts grocery store in a while, but I will say Sprouts grocery store is also another great grocery store if you have a Sprouts in your area to check out, because they have a lot of plants that are typically on sale. Like for instance, Healthy Savings, and I love Healthy Savings. Healthy Savings means my pocket is going to stay full with money versus just creating a bigger hole than it already has. You can see that this is 3 for $10, so you can get 3 succulents for $10. Really good price at all, because typically even at like Walmart or a big box stores, these succulents would be like $4 or or even more than that. And you can see they don't have the plant IDs for these succulents. And I do apologize that I'm not as versed on like succulents. The first one I believe is an Echeveria. Not sure what type of Echeveria it is, but as I pan around here, you can see that they've just got different types of succulents. Now these succulents are outside and they are facing the east side, so they're not going to get that intense bright light. They'll get that morning sun, and that's about it. Now with succulents, they do prefer a lot of bright light. I am not 100% sure if all of these succulents can take full sun. I know that I grew my Aeonium succulents in full sun and they just fried, so it was not a good idea. So again, Plantfoldies, if anybody can kind of tell me what the lighting conditions would be for a succulent like this. Now this one is a Kalanchoe as well. Love that. And notice that that's not the blooming version. It's the fuzzy kind. Really like that. But I am just curious to see if you can grow these in full sun, or do we need to put this in more of like a bright high light where you get a lot of light, but it's not necessarily full sun. So Plantfoldies, again, I'm asking if you can just leave that in the comments. I really want to see that type of engagement on this video because I want to learn from you. I know a lot of you guys will mention that you've learned a lot from me. Honestly, I just feel like sometimes I just rambled on for an hour, but if you are getting some education from my plant shopping videos just on plant care, I appreciate it. Now this one right here is some type of Euphorbia. I've seen the larger varieties. I was almost tempted to pick this up because I love that ruby red tone on that Euphorbia. Once I develop a plant obsession, just kind of like with anything in my general life, I will obsess about it. You know, something that I have obsessed over for many decades is folding origami paper cranes. So for those that want to know why I call my channel Grow Fold, it was originally an origami ASMR page where I would fold origami paper cranes on a daily basis. My goal is to be able to fold 1 million paper cranes. There is this Japanese legend where if you fold 1,000 paper cranes, you'll be able to get a wish. I have been folding paper cranes now for close to 7.5 years. I fold an origami paper crane or multiple ones throughout the day, every day. So as you can see, I have so many different like hobbies, but my hobbies tend to be more of the obsessive ones. So Plantfoldies, let me know what you think about, you know, your hobbies. I know some of you guys have mentioned you like to crochet, knit, cook, all of that. I would love to know more about you. So if you are watching this during a live premiere chat, please drop, you know, what hobbies you like. Again, I love that open discussion. There are so many plans that I have for this channel. Like I really want to create that Facebook page. I just haven't gotten to it because I really do want to start putting a face to everybody that has participated in the live premiere chats and who continue to just leave comments. So definitely stay tuned for that. But you can see all of these plants that I'm picking up right here. And this is at Sprouts, $2.49 for some of these beautiful succulents. You've got some succulent arrangements. These ones are only for $9.99. Originally, they were $19.99. So you're saving 50% off on a lot of these plants. And that's the reason why I am getting excited, because I have found many beautiful surprises when it comes to Sprouts grocery stores, just the plants. So a little Plantfoldie sent me a picture of some Philodendron Ring of Fires for $19.99, like about a week ago, or maybe 4 or 5 days ago. And so I wanted to check that out. You can see this is actually on sale for $6.50. And notice that this is one of those like urban jungle or live trend plants. Again, I never can remember the plant ID for this, but I've been meaning to get this plant, and I will buy this for $6.50 rather than the $20.27 if I were to buy that in a ceramic planter with Live Trends. Love Live Trends. I think they have healthy plants, but I'm willing to spend $6.50 on that. And then you can see here, this is also $6.50 for an urban jungle plant. This is a bird's nest fern. Love the look of the bird's nest fern, and I really love the neon look on the color on it. And you can see there is a Dracaena lemon lime. And then now for $6.49, they've got a bunch of string of somethings. This one is string of coins. I believe this is string of coins, green coins, string of green coins. Never have seen a string of green coins. I may end up getting it. And actually, I was here a little bit earlier, but I forgot to film. I found me a variegated wax ivy. So remember when I went to the North Haven Gardens and they had a hanging basket of wax ivy for $24.99. Well, I'm glad that I didn't buy it because I was able to get a wax ivy at this Sprouts for $6.49. So it's absolutely stunning. At the end of the video, if you stay this long on the video, you'll see what I got as far as that wax ivy. But you can see here, we've got a string of fish hooks, I think. Really cool looking plant. These are all in the Senecio family. And then you can see right here, this is a string of tears. It looks like it was blooming, so all of the blooms have been spent. And it's just really funny. Look at that string of tears. It has somebody sad and crying. But these are for $6.49. So plant foldies, let me know what you think about these hanging baskets of string of somethings. Would you purchase it? I think it is an amazing price. And you will save, right now, it looks like somebody will save $6.50 if you buy these right now. These are all on the manager special deal. So it looks like maybe not all Sprouts have the same plant pricing. Sometimes stores, especially in retail, they are under the discretion, especially with grocery stores. When it comes to plants, they just kind of pick and choose what they might reduce. So I urge anybody to really look at their local grocery store. So if you don't have an HEB, if you don't live in Texas, check out other grocery stores. Let me know in the comments what kind of grocery store plants you'll find. And this was what I was talking, Philodendron Ring of Fire. But hold on. This is what I'm talking about. Look at how large this Ring of Fire is, and it's for $9.99, and it's in a Live Trends ceramic planter. Amazing plant deal. Like, I will tell you that this is an amazing plant deal because this is originally $19.99. It is now $9.99. So this is 50% off. And these plants are not dying. They're not clearance plants. They are still a gorgeous plant. But for some reason, it is a manager's special deal, $9.99. So I will end up buying a couple of these because I want to do another plant giveaway. There's a couple of plants that I'm saving up to do plant giveaways on my Instagram. So again, if you want a chance to get some of these cool variegated plants, definitely follow me on Instagram at GrowFolds. I urge any plant foldy, even if you don't really have an Instagram account, go ahead and create yourself an Instagram account. There are quite a bit of plant foldies that get on Instagram. And the thing about it is, I spend a lot of time on my Instagram posting on my stories, so you can literally see where I'm at, what food I'm eating, and all of that good nature. So if you want to see me on more of a personal level, you might even see a face reveal on my Instagram, definitely check that out. But you can see here all of these live trend plants. These are the spritz kinds. Now these ones I think are for $12.99. So this is some type of Alocasia. I don't know exactly what that Alocasia is. I think that is a dragon scale Alocasia. I still just can't get over the fact that those Philodendron Ring of Fires are for $9.99. I also love these Kalanchoe right here. These are only for $9.99. We've got a pink variety here in a ceramic planter, so that's a really good price for a Kalanchoe. I might actually end up getting a Kalanchoe because why not, right? I am literally in a big box store plant or doing plant shopping videos daily, and I will say Kalanchoe is another plant that I see in real life every single day. Beautiful plant. Look at that white bloom on it, and that's the thing, plant foldies. What do you think about Kalanchoe? Do you grow them? I actually like, if I had to pick the color I like the most out of all of the Kalanchoe, I would say it would be the orange one. I think it's got a beautiful look about it. It's fiery, it's bright, it's happy, and we all need a little bit of happiness. I do truly believe that plants make people happy. I am happy to be able to create videos for you to bring joy. It's just a whole cycle where I think that this is, you know, something consistent for everybody. I'm not sure if there's any other plant YouTubers that do plant content daily, especially 1-hour plant shopping videos. It is a little bit tedious, but I feel like it's worth it. And then you can see here, these are another Live Trend planter. These are actually self-watering planters. These are for $12.99. I do believe that if I wait a little bit longer, some of these $12.99 Live Trend plants are going to be reduced even more. These are still full price. And notice how a lot of these plants, like those in the background, are only for $3.49. There's actually a philodendron in the back that I might consider getting, but For $9.99, I am going to get the Philodendron Ring of Fire, just so I can do some plant giveaways. And then over here, we've got a green Marantha. Look at how healthy this Marantha is. It is another plant that I am just all about as well. I don't have it specifically in my plant collection, but I would say this is more of a easier plant as compared to growing a Calathea. So we might visit that, but you know, $12.99, that's not a bad price at all. And these are reduced to $6.49. So that is a ponytail palm. This is an in bloom plant. Really like that ponytail palm. Again, is only for $6.49. And then look at that ceramic planter. I don't mind that as well. It looks like a really nice planter. This is a Syngonium neon robusta for $6.49. The only thing I said that I would do differently is I wouldn't put that fake moss top dressing on the soil. I would just let the soil be the soil rather than to put that fake moss. But as I pan away here, I'm not going to spend too much longer on these plants. I am just super excited that they've got that Philodendron Ring of Fire, $9.99. Super big savings on plants. It will definitely not break your budget. I do think that it has some good variegation. I'm going to end up getting that plant right there. We'll see what that looks like, and then we'll see about this one as well. It's got some really good variegation. Plant Folies, what do you think about these Philodendron Ring of Fires for $9.99 in those beautiful Live Trend planters? Would you buy it? Definitely leave that in the comments. And if you are a local Dallas-Fort Worth person and you want to make a travel here, I would recommend going to this Sprouts. It is off of Custer Road in North McKinney, Texas. So definitely check that out. And then I just wanted to show you this. So I ended up getting this gorgeous looking wax ivy. So it looks like a Waxhedra helix, but it's not. This is actually a Senecio type plant. So it's another succulent plant. I love that. It's just a very interesting plant considering it looks like an English ivy, but it is actually a succulent. And this is another beautiful plant. I'm going to try to grow this one again. You know, this is a plant you don't often see at big box stores, much less a grocery store. So I had to pick this up. This was only for $6.49. So Plant Foldies, I hope you enjoyed this grocery shopping video today. If you did, please hit that like button again. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. And as always, please subscribe to the channel with the notification bell on. This is Richie at Growfold. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.